Everybody, welcome to Cigars and Syndication. I'm Robbie Rogers, and uh, I'm here with my co-host Jay Noir, and we're passionate about cigars and real estate. And hopefully, we have a good topic for you guys today. We're going to talk about AI and how it impacts commercial real estate.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Junaid Noor, and we are passionate about cigars and syndications. We have a lot of information on our website at www.albanyparkcapital.com. What are we smoking today, Robbie? This is really a interesting smoke.
Yeah, today we've got the Monte Cristo 1935 anniversary Nicaraguan. It's a really good smoke. Got a lot of spice, and so far I'm enjoying it. But it is pretty. It's got a pretty good pepper flavor.
Yeah, it's a lot of black pepper, a good amount of spice, um, pretty smooth.
Yeah, no, I think so. It's a really smooth smoke so far. Really good, easy light, easy draw.
Now, this is the Nicaraguan Monte Cristo as compared to the Cuban Monte Cristo number twos that are so popular throughout the world.
Right, correct. Same one, just not Cuban.
Yeah, this is not a bad smoke. So far, so good. So AI. Well, everybody's talking about AI, and AI seems to be the new internet. You know, back in 2000, anything with a .com, www, anything was the biggest hype, and now it seems like AI is kind of starting to creep in, take its place. You know, any corporation that mentions that they are in the AI space, their stock just shoots up.
Yeah, it's very interesting and it's a very controversial topic. How does it impact employment? How does it impact the market and how things are done? Obviously there's going to be some changes, and I think there's a lot of people that are scared or are just not educated to understand how it's going to impact them.
So today we're going to discuss a little about what AI is and how it could be used in real estate applications. And even though AI is not prevalent everywhere, right? Everybody's starting to use Chat GPT. I've used it. Bing has a GPT. I'm sorry, Bing has a AI, which I think is a Chat GPT machine as well. But Bing has an AI chat, which is pretty good as well. Microsoft is doing it. Google is doing something with it. So it's starting to just show up in places. It's not all that used yet, but there are some applications of real estate that um, are there now, and there are some really good applications which I think could be used for in the future.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think there are some really good applications for it. I think it'll allow people to maybe process some of the information about individual properties or individual projects. I think it's going to be a tool that they use in their CRM to try to hook up, buyers and sellers in the commercial market.
So let's start with the definition of AI. What is AI? So AI is basically generally understood as machine learning, right? So it's the ability of computers and machines to handle tasks that are required that require human intelligence, right? So you know, as we progress through the the how software, how computers came about, and how software came about. Well, computers can do started with doing repetitive tasks, right? So instead of, you know, doing the calculations on large scale math needs like nuclear projects or things like that, computers could just go through those calculations much faster. It's repetitive tasks. Now, AI is where computers can actually do some analytics, some thinking that that's normally attributed to human beings.
Right, but it's only still as good as the information that the human beings put in and the parameters that are set, that will allow the AI to work and learn.
Right. And so what AI does now is that it amasses large amounts of data and then analyzes it. Before it used to be reports, right? So, an Excel spreadsheet could take a large amount of data and produce a report, but it couldn't really tell you what that report meant. We left it to human beings to figure out what that report meant. Now, AI can start analyzing and predicting And that's why ChatGPT, if you go ask anything to ChatGPT, it'll tell you that its database is limited to, I believe, 2021. It stops at 2021. And the reason being is because ChatGPT is a database that's been vetted and cleaned up. It's not just connected to the internet, because if it's connected to the internet, then you get all kinds of false data, fake news, things like that.
So just like old school, it's if good information in, good information out. Bad in, bad out.
So currently, when it comes to AI, we talked about ChatGPT, uh, and Bing has a pretty good AI function on their chat as well. But Bing, what it does is it sources. So whatever information it gives you a little source, so you can go look at the source yourself. But currently, Zillow and Redfin, those two websites, are using AI in their valuation of single family homes. So when you go to Zillow and you see that Z estimate or Zestimate, however you want to call it, that is an AI tool that they use based on which way the market's going and current sales in the area. So normally, what we would do is, we look at, when we're looking at a house, we look at a quarter mile or a half mile radius and see the comps in the area, and we see what has sold and what hasn't sold, and what it sold for, what the square footage was, basically what an appraiser would do.
Well, and the AI is going to be able to just take so much more information so much quicker than relying on your realtor to pull you 4 or 5 comps. I'm not sure what information goes into their AI, but to be able to take all the data from all the closings, it's definitely, at least theoretically, should trend better or quicker.
Yeah, but it'll take some time because, like, the Zillow estimates are based on solds, right? So maybe and they don't, because it's proprietary, they don't really tell you what their algorithm is, but it's based on sold houses that are sold in the area. Maybe they compensate as an appraiser would for square footage of the lot, square footage of the house, age of the house, when it was last remodeled. But here's the thing that AI can't do right now, which we do when we were buying single family homes, or what I was doing when I was buying single family homes, is that not only would I look at the comps, but I would look at the photos inside and see the type of renovations that were done. Where do they have granite? Do they have marble? Do they have hardwood floors? The AI doesn't really do that because the data is not necessarily there yet.
Yeah, and I think for me personally, I might use that estimate or some of that data to help me narrow my search, but then obviously rely on a local realtor to really fine tune it, that knows the area, knows the market. I mean, AI certainly can't see what your neighbor's conditions are. There's certain things that you still need the human element, I think.
Yeah, but I think it'll go there. It'll go there. And the most exciting thing for me is the predictive analysis. So when we're looking at commercial property, and we have a deal in the works right now for a 300 unit multifamily property. When we look at the land, for example, because since we do the development of commercial properties, we look at the land, we look at, you know, is TxDOT widening the road? What is the traffic count? What other houses are coming in the area? Are there in the area, and which ones are coming still? Um, what are the median income ranges in the area? What is a house going for in the area? Um, what other retail stores are coming in the area? What employers are coming in the area? So we, as human beings, we analyze all this data. Now, all the data may not necessarily be available yet, but as it comes available, I'm very excited about AI being able to give us some predictive analysis on, hey, this is the next area based on demographic movement and market movement 3, 4 years down the road.
What do you think the probability of AI predicting how good a cigar is going to taste?
You know, um, since AI can't smoke, unfortunately, yet, yet, um, I'm assuming it'll just go off of ratings and comments that people give, and again, who are those people, right? What's the quality of the comment? Is it a first time smoker? who just threw up because they smoked a strong cigar and said, "God, I hated this cigar." But this is this is pretty good. It's not bad for a. I was not always impressed with the U.S. or the non-Cuban Monte Cristos, but they've come a long way and they've really started making some good cigars now.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. The black pepper has kind of faded a little bit. It's mellowed quite a bit, and getting a nice smooth, maybe just a little bit of oak. It's a good smoke. I'm really enjoying this Monte Cristo.
So getting back to AI, there are two platforms which are out, which I've been reading about, and I haven't really tested them yet. So it would be great if our viewers and our listeners could go and check them out. One is called Ava, one is called Intera, and Ava is supposed to be the best AI platform for evaluating commercial properties, commercial real estate, and Intera is supposed to help in evaluating single family homes. So it would be, I went to Ava's website. It was still under construction. I couldn't punch in any addresses or any locations or anything like that. I wasn't able to get anything out of it. I'll try it again in a couple of weeks, see maybe if they've uh, they've they've come online. But from what I've read, Ava and Intera are the two up and coming websites, which basically they're supposed to just help evaluate commercial property. We're not at the, giving predictive analysis stage yet.
With all the new AI tools coming online, and it's such a hot topic. Who are the key people? Who are the key players? Who's going to be utilizing this information?
So right now it seems like because it's very early stages, the mortgage companies are utilizing AI in the real estate space. If Ava comes online, Ava is supposed to be very good at commercial properties. And the other thing that Ava is supposed to do is to evaluate what the capital improvements in a given on a given property will do to the rent, which is an amazing tool because when we go in and we buy multifamily homes that are value add, right? What should we do? Should we put a new gym in? Should we remodel the pool? Should we put a doggy park in? Should we put this? Should we put that? Well, different demographic areas require different types of amenities. And so Ava is supposed to help figure out, well, if you do these capital improvements, it'll affect your rent by this much.
Do you think they're going to be able to pull that information from just appraised values? Because otherwise, they would rely on the developers and owners to input that information or provide that information. Otherwise, I guess they would go over like tax value for the properties and how it increases if you add a pool or how it increases if you add new flooring. I don't know how that information gets put out there accurately.
Yeah, it would be it's a lot of data points. And again, we as human beings, we can analyze those data points pretty quickly by looking at pictures and reading appraisals and things like that. But um, the AI will be able to do it much faster once the algorithm shows the data points, or we know which data points we need. But I would think it would have to be off of appraisals because owners don't tend to give true information all the time. Um, Tax appraisals don't always give all the amenities, right? Um, I would think it would have to be, or the individual websites of those apartments that are being rented out, which they highlight the amenities, right? They'll say, okay, this is our rent, but look what we've got here.
So, I mean, that kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier about the machine learning. And I think it's going to take some time for the AI to put out accurate information or information that would be worthy of talking to a realtor.
Yeah, I think it's going to take some time. It's going to, data has to be compiled and data has to be cleaned, right? So if you have bad data, then you're going to get bad decisions. So, yeah, no, I think it's going to be some time before we get there, but I think it's a very exciting prospect, And if there's a website called Placer.ai, and they've been around for a few years, but what they do is they monitor data off of cell phones to see how many people are going into which stores in a retail shopping center. So they don't know specifically anybody's names or anything like that, but they just know that a cell phone has gone into a retail store. And so it's been very helpful for predictive analysis for retailers to show where people are actually, especially after COVID, right? Which stores they're entering, which retail shops they're entering, which ones they're not entering. And they can even check, and I don't know if you know this, but when you're on Google Maps and you're looking at traffic conditions, right? So Google Maps tells you 32 minutes to get from one place to another, and it gives you the little green and gives you the little red. Those little green and red, those represent dots of people with their cell phones in their cars. So because Google can monitor the cell phone knows how fast you're going. And so if you're stopped, it basically that red line when there's an accident is a bunch of little dots of people with their cell phones just stopped. So Google knows that, well, there's a traffic jam here. So this is the same thing that Placer AI uses in trying to figure out who goes into which retail shopping centers and then the flow of traffic, right? Because lots of times I won't go to a certain shopping center just because I know it's going to be packed. Easy in and out is not there.
Well, my Google Dot is going to be sitting still for a little bit until I finish this Monte Cristo.
This has gotten smooth now. The pepper is gone, the spice is gone. I get a little bit of coffee, a little bit of nut, but mellowed out, very smooth draw, smooth smoke.
Yep, definitely getting the coffee and a little woodsy, a little oak flavor. Really good. I'm enjoying this. I'll definitely keep these in my humidor.
Now, getting back to AI, Congress wants to start putting in laws. I don't know if you heard about this, but they started talking about we want to have hearings on how to regulate AI. I think it's a little early. Everybody's worried about Skynet, from the Terminator, where Skynet becomes self-aware and hits the button, and we have a nuclear war because Skynet feels that humans are the biggest threat. I think what will happen is that if Congress starts enacting regulations this early on, it'll hamper the growth. It'll hamper the ingenuity that AI will bring about.
Well, you've got some big players in that realm, the Elon Musk and other people that have come out and expressed great concern and even halting it for 6 months to evaluate it. I kind of take those guys pretty serious, and I want to know more about why they're so concerned with it.
Yeah, but see, if you look at where AI is right now and what it's able to do, it's not there yet. And if you start regulating it, so if you go back to the Industrial Revolution, and if the government started regulating Rockefeller right then and there, later they did because he became a monopoly, but all of the inventions and all the ingenuity, him being able to turn oil into gasoline, and what do we do with this gasoline? Well, we've got this internal combustion engine that this gasoline can be used for. All that ingenuity, everything starts getting hampered when regulations come into play this early on.
Well, take all that information in and I think kind of dampen your fears a little bit. Hopefully everybody's got good intentions, and hopefully this AI thing is a tool. Obviously it's a tool. It's in how the people use it and utilize it to make maybe the work environment easier, maybe take some of the daily drudge out, and instead of compiling this information, you're just managing it and reviewing it. But for sure, grab a Monte Cristo 1935 anniversary and check out albanyparkcapital.com and hit all our social media.
Yeah, and one last thing that I want to say is that when computers first started coming into the work field, people were scared. Oh, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my job. And really, what it turned out to be was that computers eliminated specific tasks rather than eliminating jobs, right? So rather than us doing spreadsheets by hand or doing drawings by hand, it made that task a lot easier for us. and it it got rid of those specific tasks that we don't have to do anymore. But it didn't eliminate CPAs. It didn't eliminate architects. Everybody still got jobs. It's just the way they do them is much more efficient now, and a lot less error prone because you don't have to do 10 different drawings by hand. You just do one on CAD, and then the computer takes care of the rest. I don't think it's going to eliminate occupations. I think it's just going to make tasks easier.
Yeah, just stay on top of your game, and sometimes it's necessary to make changes. So hopefully you pay attention and it doesn't bite you.
Thank you for joining us. Again, go to www.albanyparkcapital.com, hit the resources tab. This article on AI will be there as well. We've got a lot of other articles in educating the public on real estate. And you know what? Pick up a cigar and enjoy this Monte Cristo.